What up, everybody? You're now tuned into the true definition of a sports fanatic. I'm your host, Brandon Lampley, back today with another live stream. Shout out to all the audio listeners. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Back today with another talk at the barbershop. As you can see, I went to the barbershop today. Finally, no more hats. I got the hair back. The kid in play is back. You say how I get that shape like that? That barber, my barber, he got me that shape up like that, man.
That's the kid and play look, boy.
Yeah.
30 years ago, I used to have that kid and play, but man, all the time came with some real clippers.
Right. Yes, right. Father time came through. Yeah, man. So hey, I know with this today was the first day of OTA. You say it was hot out there. I know it was an absolute scorcher out there because it was hot just driving around Jacksonville today.
Yeah, man, it was hot, boy. I tell you what, though, boy, you got 90 players on a football field. It's a little, when you're on the practice field, you got two fields. You got two, three fields. You got 90 guys on one stadium field, man. It looked like everything compact and congested.
Right.
So
yeah. So OTA started today. So we get into some Jags talk first. Talk about one of the headlines I saw from today was Travis Etienne is a full go for OTAs. And dude, when I saw that, I said that is great news. I'm happy for him because I know how frustrated he probably was with the injury and how serious that injury was. So for him to be a full go, man, I'm hopeful.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, man. I was gonna write about something else, and then not only was a full go, yeah, man, he looks like he's a full go. He
looks like it.
He got that quick burst, the explosiveness.
Mm-hmm.
None of that was taken away. If it was, he got it back, which is a great thing. And just he looked good today, man. I mean, he really looked good on his cuts. He made some cuts, all his drills, everything at top speed. I mean, I like the fact that he even going out the backfield, getting a separation on some of the cornerbacks, and getting open. The only thing he dropped the pass. I mean, that if there's one thing he didn't, that's the only blemish he had today. He missed. He dropped a pass of going across the middle. But other than that, man, it's a good sight to see this kid back. Not just back. I mean, he's back like Clemson back.
Okay.
I mean, no limitations. He's not favoring it. There's no run and come back to the huddle limping or none of that, man. So whoever did his rehab or put him through the program, they did a great job to not have any recurring effects from a serious injury like that, man, because he showed burst. He showed, man, I mean, he was able to get around people, and he looks like Doug Peterson said today, man. He's a full go, and knock on wood, I hope it stays that way because it's we saw him do what he did today, and then you look across the field, and there was James Robinson who was just he didn't participate, just standing on the sideline. So
okay. Man. So what's the timeline for James Robinson?
They're figuring on that he could be ready by the start of training camp on July 24th, but I don't know, man. That's a real aggressive timetable, I think, on an injury like that. I don't know anybody that, I know the Akers from the Rams came back, but what was that? I think he had a 7-month recovery, I believe. But
7-month recovery.
Most people that have that injury, and it also depends on where at did the tendon pop and how much was totally severed or popped, and a lot of that goes into that injury, man. But that's an injury where you can't really do much rehab. You just got to let it heal, and you can do like upper body work, but you can't really do anything to heal that injury through rehabbing. So, but that's aggressiveness. My own personal feelings, I think he might miss maybe the opening game or something like that. But I think by mid-September, I think he'll be back full. I think they're,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, you got to look at this too. Also, man, it don't make sense to play him in the preseason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't want to just thrust them out there either in this week 2 of the season. So I think the best advice is to just let the Achilles tendon heal and bring him along gradually. You got your guy. I mean, to be honest, even
Mm-hmm.
if James Robinson come back, if Travis Etienne can have a season that's expected, then there's no shame that you got 2 starters playing
Yeah.
running back.
Yeah.
But
It's a good problem to have.
yeah, it's a great problem to have because if you utilize Etienne right, line them up wide. There were some drills that it wasn't just exclusive to Etienne, but where they were lining up wide and going downfield and catching passes and all that. But I would love to see him utilized in a way that the defense don't know what they're gonna see next. Line them up in the backfield, of course, but hell, play them in the slot, give
Yeah.
them some reverses, and
Yeah.
while you're at it, you know, bring your wide receiver there.
Yeah, I saw Christian Kirk taking reverses out of the backfield today. I don't know if you retweeted, somebody tweeted it out. I saw him taking reverses out of the backfield. And speaking of receivers, Deebo Samuels is not at OTAs for the 49ers, which is to be expected. But that situation still isn't resolved, man. And there's nothing been budged or moved on that. So I'm wondering what's going to happen. But what most likely is going to happen is they're going to pay him, and it's probably going to go away.
Put LaVisca Chenault on the trade block. And let me say this about LaVisca. It's just like last year with him, man. He might have looked to be, to me, he might have was, Christian Kirk looked great today. Jones didn't. He looked okay. I mean, he made all his catches, put it that way. He didn't show a lot of explosiveness, in my opinion. But LaVisca, man, it's just like when the shorts and the helmets come on, it's just amazing that how good he looks in OTAs. Mm-hmm. I mean, his route running is great. He didn't put any pass on the ground. And his physical, I mean, he's almost double the size of Christian Kirk. When they were standing next to each other, I mean, it's like no comparison. And I always feel like, good Lord have mercy, this kid got all the physical tools. He's got talent, but he's just so. I mean, he's big and he can run. And it's just for the life of me when the season gets to October and November, you can't find this kid. Not like what? Where did what we see every year, just like today? I mean, this dude was running routes, man, and it's just like catching it in motion, gone. I mean, it's just catching it in stride and gone. And I'm like, I said that last season, the season before that. I mean, this dude has got all the tools, and he can't put it together when it needs to be put together. Like mid-season, big plays. And I don't know, man. It's almost to the point like it's gonna be hard for no matter what he shows in the helmets and shorts. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be hard for him to get in this rotation, especially as a fifth receiver. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's the one of the. Hopefully, LaVisca can, because this is do or die for him. This is it.
Yes, it is.
You don't have anything else, because let's be honest, if they had drafted a receiver in the first 2 or 3, 4 rounds, probably even if they'd have took one in the 5th, he probably would be most likely off the roster very soon.
Yeah.
But they didn't. So he has a chance.
But even Austin, the kid from Notre Dame, he's tall, he can run, he's good at route running, he can catch. He did drop a couple during that rookie minicamp, but Austin is going to be competition for Laviska. I see that already, you know.
Wow.
And you
Wow.
can't put Laviska on the, well, you can. I guess you could put him on the scout team or the practice.
Practice squad. Oh, no, he'll. There's somebody that come get him off the practice squad. He's too. It's too much raw talent there. You know, somebody's going to see him and they're going to be like, yo, we could fix him. So
But
it's too much raw talent.
But you said the key thing, raw talent. He's not supposed to have raw talent going into what, year 3?
Year 3.
Or
Yeah.
3. Yeah, 3.
Yeah, year 3. Yeah, you're going into year 3.
So he's playing basically for an option year next year. So you can't be raw, man. You got to find, and some of the problems is the Jaguars, you know, because I don't think this kid has found his niche. You know, his niche might be like play him like Debo, play him in the backfield for a couple of plays, a couple of series, and let's see how it goes. Line him up in the backfield and see if he can run up the middle instead of always using him on the outside. I mean, he's big and strong,
but and he
can
run after the catch.
But I feel this coaching staff is going to take their time. They're going to come up with some schemes, and they're going to try to incorporate him into a role that helps them win games. And he might be one of those players that you see get a lot of reps during the second preseason game, get a lot of reps the third preseason game, because I don't think Doug Peterson and his staff, they don't really know what this kid can do. You know, they seen film, they seen things that he's done over the last 2 seasons, but they don't know how he can impact their offense. You know, another thing that stood out to me today was they got a lot of motion plays, and they play a lot of double tight ends. You play double tight end, that also squeezes him. That takes away his reps as they're playing in the slot. So,
yeah, it does.
Because I'll be honest with you, Brandon, this Evan Ingram, he's going to be a nightmare matchup for defenses. Because, I mean, to be honest, his size, he don't look anything like a tight end to me. I mean,
he looks like a big receiver.
Smaller than some of the receivers that look like to me. I mean, Treadwell is bigger than Ingram.
Yep.
And those quarterbacks was rolling out, and this guy getting in the flat, and he's catching passes. He got a burst, and he can get open. And then they were running some routes where him and Dan Arnold was on the same side of the field, and just the quarterback say, okay, which one you want? There's one, Ingram is 10 yards here, Arnold is 20 yards further down the sideline. Which one you want? But those are the plays that's going to get you first downs. It ain't always about, hey,
put up this.
It ain't always about that home run hit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Put both your tight ends out there, separate them by 20 yards apart, get to a first down mark, and then get out of bounds. And that looked like some of the stuff they're working on today, you know. So, and Dan Arnold looked pretty good today too, I might add.
Yeah, I think a full off season in him in this program. I think a couple of players are going to take probably another jump. Even Marvin Jones, you say he's never been very explosive, but I think another year with Trevor Lawrence, it's probably going to be better for him. And I've seen where Doug was talking about the communication with Trevor has been excellent. And, you know, he talking about what worked last year, what didn't, what he liked. And he says it's been incredible so far. So I was very happy to hear that.
Yeah. And, you know, their approach to this whole thing, I mean, basically they're not telling them this, but they're working with Trevor like this is ground zero. You're essentially starting over. This is a new system. Our expectations is going to be a lot different than what it was last year with that regime that occurred. And we expect you to do this. We want you to grasp this, and we want to utilize you in different ways that be totally different how they utilized him last year. But you know what the great thing is, Trevor is acceptance of. I mean, they asked him a question about how do you feel that basically your head coach is a quarterback, was a former quarterback. And then
Mm-hmm.
he was talking about just how the communication is between him and Doug. Doug knows things that Urban, Doug, or any of those other former coaches didn't know, particularly
Yeah.
coaching quarterback. So he sees more than what Trevor ever experienced, maybe even experienced when he was at Clemson. So that's only going to be a positive, that just
Yeah.
the little tendencies, little things that he has to do. One thing I noticed that in practice today, Trevor was rolling out and he like fluttered it. Like he threw his normal way. He was trying to find a window to get the ball off because the rush was coming. And Roy Roberts Harris came in and just raised those big arms up, and he got a paw on that ball and just batted it down. As soon as that play was over, I could see Doug Peterson telling him, you gotta, when a guy coming off the edge, you're gonna have to throw it. It's not gonna be a normal throw. You can't squeeze in these tight windows all the time. You gotta loft it up. He was telling them,
Yeah.
get it up high. Get your arm up high.
Yeah.
You know, and those are things that he wasn't taught that last year. He just throw
You're right.
find an angle, get it up. But
Mm-hmm.
he's six. What is 6'5"?
6'6".
What
Yeah.
is
Yeah. I
it?
think 6'5", 6'6". Yeah.
Yeah, so it ain't gonna take much to just
Ain't
make
gonna take
sure
much.
your arm is arched when
Yeah.
you in your throwing motion to get that ball up. Don't have your arm low, and you got a
Yeah.
6'5" end coming off the edge. So get it up, and then practice that habit. And those are the things that make real NFL coaches. You
Yeah.
want to identify the problem now so it won't become a problem in the fall, So
Right. Yeah. I mean, you said that last year. And what's up, Kassan Carter? Kassan said, just go run and shoot offense and call it a day.
yes, indeed. I have no
Yeah.
issue with that run and shoot, boy.
Yeah. You
None.
talked about that last year where you would say that a guy would make a mistake, and instead of them correcting the mistake right there on the spot, they didn't really do that. They said they did it. When you go into the press conference and you ask them, they say they do it, but you were there and you said they did not do that.
Well, they definitely didn't do it on the offensive line. That was one of the biggest problems they had. You can't have Jawan Taylor making mistake after mistake, and then you go out on the practice, and all the offensive line is working on the same thing when you got deficiencies. His deficiency is different than Brandon Linder or whatever, and you're not doing enough individual coaching to correct the issue for Jawan. And another thing, man, I thought I was gonna see this big old battle, the Walker Little Jawan Taylor battle, and man, it didn't happen because Cam Robinson had a he didn't show up for practice today. So they
Okay.
had Walker Little playing at left tackle, and Jawan was back at his old spot.
Yeah, I saw Cam, Trayvon Walker, and that one other player work to hit there today for personal reasons. They're
Yeah,
healthy, but
yeah,
just personal reasons.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I think actually Trevon was in Las Vegas for the Players Association where they take these pictures of all.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Um,
rookie premier. Yeah, he was there for the rookie premier.
so I think they just said, man, I tell you what, Doug Peterson said, boy, this kid got to work it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I took a trip to his hometown last week, man, and I am convinced that they drafted the right guy. I think this guy gonna be something special, man. I saw
Mm-hmm.
where he grew up at. I saw what all the motivation. I saw he lives in a small town. They do got a Walmart, and I just
Mm-hmm.
saw what everybody told me about what this guy was and about growing up as a kid. And he was a great basketball player, and he's always been the biggest guy wherever he played. But boy, I
Yeah.
watched a tape of him as a junior, and
Mm-hmm.
there was nobody on the field that could block this guy. I mean, he was actually not they couldn't block him. He was running down running backs going off the edge. I mean, he literally was running them down. There go past the edge, and then 3 yards later, he done ran up and just and knocking crap out of him. This guy is a ball player, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. People been putting up the it's a side by side picture of him and Aiden Hutchinson, and they like, yeah, Jaguars made the right decision. I
Well,
saw that. I said, man.
well, Aiden is like one of these flash in the dash type of guys, man. His ceiling right now is great, but 3 years from now, his ceiling gonna be here, and Walker
Mm-hmm.
gonna be here, and not just this gonna stay there. Walker gonna continue to emerge, and
Yeah.
Aiden gonna take baby steps. He'll move up a little, but man, I have never seen when they had that rookie mini camp last week. It was just amazing to me to see how fast he can move to be 6'5", 270, whatever his weight is.
Mm-hmm.
It just, man, for a guy that big that can move that quick, it's going to be hard for anybody to try and block this guy. He's not going to be a standing target. Believe that.
Yeah, yeah. From what I've seen of him, I was telling some people at the barbershop today. And shout out to J Mac. I know he said he was gonna watch. Hey, shout me out, J Mac. Share my video. Got me the fresh cut for sure. I was talking to him about it, and I said, dude, from everything, I wanted Evan Neal, but I'm not disappointed anymore. And I wasn't necessarily disappointed because I didn't think they could mess it up. But after seeing him, and then, like you said, just the interviews with him talking and his physical prowess, I say, man, this kid, he's ready to go. And then the way the other players have reacted to him. I know they asked the rookies about him, and the rookies are in awe of him. The other rookies who were drafted with him are in awe of him.
Yeah. And when you got a guy, I talked to the principal at his high school. This kid was a 5-star. He could have went to Georgia. I mean, he could have early enrolled in Georgia and all that. His senior year, he could have left that January and go to enroll early. But he played on a basketball team at the high school he went to that were coming off back-to-back state championships. And he didn't want to let those because he had been playing with these same guys since they were in the 4th grade. But
Mm-hmm.
I like a player who don't put themselves above the team. Because he could have just said, okay, man, it was great. We done 1, 2, and what's the point? I'm a 5-star. I want to try to get a starting position at Georgia so I can enroll early. But nope, he didn't do that. He wanted to stay with his crew. And he did. They didn't win a state championship his senior year. But,
Mm-hmm.
man, he got friends for life. Just on
Right.
that decision alone, man. So that tells you right there what his character is, what defines him. And he's not a guy that likes, like he's not a showboat. He's not a guy that gonna stand up in front of the camera and he's not a Showtime guy. But he's a
Right.
football player. So they're getting a hell of a football player, from my opinion.
Yeah. Let me get this comment. Robert P said, only time Trevor looked comfortable in the offense last year was the first half of the Bengals game. I mean, he had his moments all year. He had like little spurts where he looked comfortable. The most comfortable he looked in an entire game was the Colts game at the end of the year. I mean, he was masterful in that game. You say that means he has character and integrity. I love it, Uncle John. Yeah,
Yeah, he
yeah.
does. One more thing on Trevor, man. I tell
Mm-hmm.
man, if there's one thing that I think they didn't do enough of, that was, it's hard. You can't really put a read on things when they're in helmet and shorts. But I am not impressed with the backup offensive line that they have. and they put the backup offensive line on one rep with Trevor,
Mm-hmm.
and they blew through there so quick, man, that he threw a pass, and he threw a pass directly to Devon Hamilton for that interception.
Yeah, I saw you tweet about that. That he threw a pass and they got intercepted by Devon Hamilton. I was wondering like how that happened.
But the offense, but when he said down said height, the whole defensive front had already converged over this over this backup offensive front. They're not even worth saying names that they may not be around in another 3 days. But boy, I am not impressed with the backup offensive line. Whoever they is, number 70.
Yeah.
But as soon as he said height, man, they couldn't even because he like the starting defensive front was still out there. You know, Devon Hamilton,
Yeah.
Roy Roberts, Harris, and they unloaded. And I don't know if he was just trying to
Wow.
get the ball out or just it might have been a flashback that we ain't in pads, but he might have thought they were in pads. And he just
Right.
threw a pass and it floated like 2 feet and it went right into Von Hamilton. He said he said after the practice that he don't know when his birthday, but he showed gifts wrapped him a present.
Wow.
That was Trevor's low point of the day because that was a bad interception. But he was on a run a lot, man. He did a lot of rollouts, and I think that was out of necessity to
So we still got which we knew, the offensive line. It's a work in progress. This is what we knew.
I don't know, man. I know what you said. I agree with you about that Evan Neal pick, and
Yeah.
I trust that they got the right guy on this playing outside linebacker with the number 1 overall pick. But my only question is, man, I don't know if they might have they might have should have thought about not just a center, maybe add another guard or something like that. I mean, Ben Barch, I
Mm-hmm.
think he's good. I think he's serviceable, but I don't know how he's gonna be when he's up against tough matchups. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Oh man. So
you don't want a defensive tackle coming in there, and as soon as Trevor get the ball in a shotgun, somebody in his face.
right.
Literally, that what happened today. And he had to make a rush decision, and he threw that pass right to Devon Hamilton. The only pick of the day by a defensive tackle.
Well, hey, that gives me hope then too. Because like one of the issues that Blake Bortles had is he got balls batted down at the line of scrimmage. Dude,
Yeah.
for a 6'5" quarterback, I'm like, why is that such an issue? But the delivery point from where he delivered the ball from was the issue. I don't think Trevor doesn't have that issue, so I don't think he didn't have it last year. So I don't think it'll be one going forward. But that was always puzzling to me. A 6'5" quarterback got his ball batted down. But then you had somebody like a Kyler Murray who's 5'11",
Yeah.
and you rarely see that. But it's the angle of the ball and how high he puts it up.
Yeah, but see, he runs and find angles, and he find those throwing angles based using his feet. Another thing, boy, I thought C.J. Beathard played pretty well. I thought E.J. Perry was horrible, and this is the second time I can literally say he was horrible. This day 2, because he was horrible during rookie minicamp, and he was
I
horrible. I mean,
heard.
he was throwing passes behind the guys, and it wasn't even close today. Yeah, I mean, he threw a pass on a slant route to Manhurst, and the ball literally just hit him in the back. So I don't
Wow.
know if it's just a moment or just being a kid who played his college ball at Brown University or whatever. But boy, they and Jake Luton decided not to practice today, so he was I don't know what the story is on that, but he was with the group who didn't practice today. But those are some of the things on offense that. But I like the receivers though, man. I think they got a good collection of receivers. I think they
Yeah.
route running was good. I think they've been studying together. I don't think the total timing and all that is in place yet, but I can say after the first day, they look a lot further along than when what if we base this on what we saw last season after the first day of OTAs. That I can see from just the way that they operated today, that they know their offense, they know their routes. There's not guys bumping into each other. And I'm talking about one through how many they got out there? 9, 10. Even the guys, 13 receivers, all ran their routes great. There wasn't no stopping the play because somebody ran the wrong route. And
Right.
so they've been definitely doing their classroom work. And I think another thing that stands out, I think they simplified. I think their offense and I think their defense is a little more simplified than what we saw last year with the urban offense and the Schottenheimer and all
Yeah.
them folks. I think and I think I think that's a good thing. I think you put your installs
Yeah.
in, you just work to get to training camp. You make sure they know what they need to know every step of the way. Don't try to advance it until everybody knows their responsibility, and then you move on. And then when it's time to cut, then you got guys who know your offense. But that's another change. And this staff look like they know what the hell they're doing. They look like an NFL staff.
Right. Right. So yeah. So offensively, I think that sounds like what the issue may be going into the season offensively is the line. And so
Yeah,
yeah,
and
that's the only thing on the offensively like we're gonna have an issue with.
that's the question: is did they do enough to improve the offensive line? You're not going to have problems with Sheriff. You're not going to have problems with Cam Robinson.
Yeah.
You might have a few problems with Ben Barch. Maybe week one he might have some slippage, and maybe week two. By week three, I think he should be fine moving over to that side of the ball. But Jawan jumped off sides one time today. That was the only time, but still he jumped off sides, which we all know that was a problem last year. So
Right.
yeah, I think without further delay, I think they need to go on and get that competition battle going and let the best man win at that right tackle spot. If it's Walker Little, fine. If it's Jawan Taylor, that's fine too. But if either one of them mess up, at least you got somebody to replace him. Because I think the whole problem with Jawan Taylor is not that he's not talented. I just
Hmm.
think he he hadn't had real NFL competition since he left Florida.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. 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 So you say let's say I'm excited about this season just because I won't hear the name Urban Meyer. That's a win for me. Hey, I said it at the barbershop today, man. He said what the guy he said, how much better will the who's gonna be better? The Bears, the Giants, or the Jaguars? Who's gonna be better the most? And I was like, the Jaguars are better just by subtraction. And
yeah,
that's by subtracting Urban Meyer. You're better already. We're
yeah.
better already than we were last year because he's no longer here. I said the Bears, I don't know. They got a good team. It's just is Justin Fields that guy, and then the Giants don't have a whole lot of weapons around Daniel Jones.
Mhm.
So who knows what it's going to be. But Jaguars are improved already. That's what it is.
And they organized. The thing is, man,
Yeah.
they organized. They got a plan. I like their offense. I mean, the offense looked like a pro. I mean, I like double. They ran a play today. Two guys in motion. They
Mm-hmm.
messed up on one of the plays because you're not supposed to have three guys in motion, but they had three guys in motion on one play. But to see two guys in motion, you have a bunch set on one side. I mean, we didn't see that with this Urban Meyer offense. Maybe not at all. They might have started doing it like week 10 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I think these guys going to utilize the talent that they have, which is that's all you want. You want to use your talent that you have and put these guys in position to win. We standing out there watching practice. First play of the game, first play of 7-on-7. Lawrence throws a pass to Kristen Kirk. There's no waiting. There's no guessing. There's no wait. We ain't pay a guy 4 years, $72 million to just run routes and don't get catches or targets. So immediately, bam, 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 he threw 2 passes to Kirk. But that's
Wow.
you got to use your talent, man. You got to
Yeah.
use what you got on the plate, and you got to get them ready. It ain't. I mean, it's just like too much times for the last 4 years. I see these guys bring in guys and don't utilize them, or they utilize them in the wrong way. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. See, Chris, what you talking about? The turnover differential? He say no more +2. Yeah, if you talking about the turnover differential, yeah, no more +2 in turnover. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, make sure the defense gets some takeaways, then it won't be +2. They got to get some takeaways, man. You can't have Shaquille Griffin dropping interceptions, man. And believe me, man, he got burnt 3 times today too. I counted it on my notebook. He got to get tighter.
Got to get tighter. Yeah.
Got to get tighter. Now he's going up against Kirk. I like that matchup, but
Mm-hmm.
you can't have Kirk going for the ball and you going down the field estimating that he's going to take that route and bring it out and go 5-10 yards down the field. You estimating what he's going to do. He didn't do that. He went up and came back with the ball, and there was nowhere in sight was Griffin. So you can't.
Mm-hmm.
You got to play that position smarter than that. And I
Yeah.
like my boy, but man,
Yeah, I like Shaquille, so he got to play better than that. Oh, Chris say no more catchphrases. Oh God, dude, that's all. That was the former regime. They were all catchphrases, man. All
yeah,
flash, no substance. That's all it was.
yeah. Oh, own it.
Yeah, own it. Hey, what was the winners day? Winners and
Yeah,
losers day, or whatever
winners
that
and
was.
losers today. Yeah, you got this knucklehead calling out names over there. Come on, yeah, Griffin, and then they called 2 names.
Yeah, he said
I like,
how.
I like, I like Tyson. I mean, Campbell looked like he done got bigger, looks
Mhm,
aggressive, and he was on the field a lot. So they're working they working him
mhm.
a lot. They want to see what he can do. And also the fact that Darius Williams wasn't at practice today, but
Okay.
he looks bigger and he knows to look up for balls now. It's common practice now that he looks up now and don't face guard, which is a good
Yeah,
significant progress.
yeah. I mean,
But he's
he's
always
it,
around the ball, man. He was all today. He was he didn't get interceptions or takeaways, but he was there around the ball, which is a good
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Shoot, watching him last year, he made a jump in the middle of the season because he was always in position. It's never been a time where Tyson was just getting burned consistently. He was always in position. Head just never got around to locate the ball. But as the season wore on, and I guess they worked on it and worked on it and worked on it, he got better at it.
Yeah. Now, I'm gonna be real on your show. Trey Herndon, he got to
Mhm.
get better. I
But
mean,
we knew I've said that about Trey for the longest, man. Trey he's up and down because he'll have times where he makes some really athletic plays and he looks decent. Then other times he looks lost.
well, he got lost. He got beat by 40 yards downfield on Kirk, and it just Kirk was faster. I mean, that's what it is. A lot of times he get burned. It ain't that he made the wrong read or anything. He just don't have. He ain't got speed, and they took advantage of it. He went on a go route, and he was 4-5 steps ahead of Trey Herndon on that play. One thing about Kirk, man, he don't drop
Mm-hmm.
passes. I mean, he
Mm-hmm.
he gets you
Yeah,
on the angle, and the ball comes to him in the right way. He's gonna make the catch, which he did on that play. But Trey Herndon, man, I think I think his job at stake. They watching to see what he can do, and if he's playing slot in the slot as a nickel cornerback, either he gonna have to press coverage to slow him down, but he
mm-hmm.
can't get beat like that, man. That you can't give up big plays, or he's not gonna be
No,
around. I mean,
You
I'm
can't.
sad to say it, but you can't give up plays like that, man. You can't get safety. You can't get safety help all the time. So he was a straight up man play, and he got beat bad.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Trey Herndon. Well, I wonder if is he going to make the team? Because you got Darius Williams, you got Shaquille Griffin, you got Tyson Campbell.
Yeah.
Who's but and then this Trey? Trey's the fourth corner. So who's behind Trey Herndon?
Well, you got Clay Brooks. I don't know if he's better than Chris Clay Brooks.
Yeah. And then the two rookies they drafted in the 6th and 7th round, you got those two guys.
Kid
So
from Arkansas made a pass breakup today that was pretty good. I can't think of more Monterick or whatever his name from Arkansas, the 7th round pick.
yeah,
Yeah, he made a good play today. But
man.
there's a lot of competition at that cornerback spot, man. How many they gonna keep? It's basically it. I mean, you last two, you four string. You in that four string area, you got a lot to be worried about between now and training camp. May not even get to training camp.
Right, right.
Especially if
So
those two draft picks, if the 6th round draft pick and the 7th round draft pick have a strong offseason and good mandatory mini camp. I don't know. Trey don't look right. I don't know if it's still the injury. I don't know what it is. I just don't. I don't think he's the same player he was when he first came here to Jacksonville. That's just my opinion.
yeah,
I don't know what it is. A lot of times we watch practices. Who got beat on that play, and a lot of times it's Trey, and that's not bashing them or what. I mean,
it's just what it is.
but a lot of times big plays are being given up, and he's the guy that's supposed to be in coverage, and he's getting beat, and he got beat today. He got beat today by a good receiver though.
Yeah, Christian Kirk looks like the real deal. From the little bit I saw of him, Christian looks like he's the real deal.
Yeah, I think he's the real deal. Like I told you earlier today, I ain't got a problem with number 54. I don't want to butcher his name, Oluokun.
Yeah,
He's a real deal. The defensive tackle that they got from the Jets, he's a real deal. He looked like a man out there today.
So defensively, looks solid. Now
I
our issue,
defense, man. This defense, I like this defense.
yeah. So now the issue you said are safeties. So what you said that we might the safeties are looking a little looking a little spotty, especially Mr. Cisco.
Well, I gotta call out Andre Cisco, man. And I told you this before we got on the show today. It's time for Cisco to play with urgency. When we standing on the sideline, we ain't no different than those coaches. They want to see plays made, and they want to see a guy be aggressive and trying to make them. And I didn't see it today. I saw Andrew Wingard out there, number one, playing with the ones, and Cisco accepting playing with the twos. When he got beat on a play today, and the first thing he did was walk to the sideline. Like he surrendered. I like, man, look here. If you want to be whatever your 3rd round pick and play like a 3rd round pick, you don't come off the field on an OTA and helmets and shorts to don't go back out there and prove yourself. He should have waved Andrew Wingard off and said, let me get one more rep of this. But no.
Yeah.
He went right to the sideline. And I don't know if it's a Syracuse thing or what, I don't know. But he's got to show passion, man. He's got to play aggressive. He's got to act like he's a starter. Act like a backup. Don't walk to the sideline. He's got a fight on his hand, believe it or not. Most people don't think I'm not an Andrew Wingard, Drew, or whatever you want to call him. I'm not a fan of him, to be honest. I think he's a guy that's, I commend a player who all hustle and go 100 miles an hour, and he's playing more on guts than he is on talent. But when you a third round pick, and if you ain't got no dog in you to say, I know I'm better than this dude. This dude is undrafted from Wyoming. Nothing wrong with old Wyoming, but there's no way in hell a third round pick should be getting beaten out and look and get outplayed, which he did today, by an undrafted free agent who don't even have a roster spot locked. And it's like, if that don't get you riled up, then what's going to get them riled up? I mean, that's almost like getting beat on a play and don't get upset about it, you know, and don't think those coaches ain't seeing it, man. They
watching everything.
They watch everything. They watch how he's if he get beat on the play, do he show emotion? Don't show no emotion. If he's running off the field and basically surrendering that I'm not a starter, Andrew the starter, they seeing that, and that does not typify what a third round pick who couldn't beat him out last year. You know, like we said, I'm not going to blame Chris Ash and Urban Meyer. It's a clean book. The book is closed from last year. This is an open book with a new staff, and I'm still ain't seeing what he's supposed to be doing out there on the field. So he got to get it together, man. His job is not in jeopardy or none of that. But if he don't feel bad that he getting beat out by a hustle guy who's an undrafted, undrafted free agent who doesn't play well in game situations, but he's out playing them when it counts, which is it counting right now. It's counting on the depth chart. It's counting on who they see can help them win. And they're not seeing enough of Cisco. Man, Cisco got to get something. Got to happen, man. He got to go get him a Doman Pincher or something. Go get a dog, something. But he got to get a fire lit under him, man. I don't know if it takes getting chewed out on the practice field or what. I don't know. But he got to get a fire in under him, man, to say, I'm better than this. I'm not going to accept this no more or something. But wasn't a good.
We talked about it. Andrew Wingard has the mentality that you want because he thinks he's the best thing since sliced bread. You know, I've heard the snippets of him. He said, "You guys doubted me" to the reporters. So he has the mentality that you want. He just lacks the athleticism for the position. And, you know, he makes some misreads from time to time, and teams target him when he's on. They targeted him last year specifically. Whenever he was on the field, they targeted him.
And they'll do it again if he's starting. So you gotta have. This is Cisco's job to take. He's not, he's got the athleticism. He's got the savviness. Whether he don't realize it or not, they drafted him as a third round pick. Man, play like it.
Yeah. Let's see. Kassan Carter say, he said, "Are we talking about practice? We talking about practice." Hey, in our defense, Kassan Carter, they didn't practice well last year. So to be practicing well now is a step up. And then that's it's going to translate to the field. I mean, one of the reasons why what was his name? The quarterback from FAMU played for us. Oh, I can't think of his name. Quinn Gray. The reason Quinn Gray couldn't get on the field is because he wouldn't stop throwing picks in practice. That was one of Quinn Gray's issues when he was here in Jacksonville. So the fact that they're practicing better, I'll take that all day long. He said first and second round guaranteed. They spot rest rounds. They got to earn their way on the contract and still not on like a first and second. Yeah, I mean, having first rounder attached to your name carries weight. I mean, just look at Taven Bryant. So, I mean, yeah.
Be looking at the waiver wire by August, and let's see what Taven ain't on that list. I wouldn't be shocked. Put it that way. So we'll see. It ain't just Jacksonville water.
Oh man, Robert Pugh, why you brought that name up? He said, "What about Chason? Did he practice today? If so, does he look better?" Come on, Robert Pugh. Who's trying to leave Chason alone? I want to leave him alone, but you brought him up.
Well, he worked with the starters. He worked with the number one defensive unit, but the only reason because Trayvon Walker wasn't there.
Yeah,
but I ain't gonna bash him. But
yeah.
he was in the right areas today. Put it that way. But he's
Man.
another guy. If you a fan of Chason, then you get ready to watch a lot of special teams because I don't think he's going to be playing on this defense a lot, or he'll
Mm,
be playing a different position. He hadn't got any
man.
bigger, so he ain't been in the weight room. He don't look any bigger. Oh, you got hope?
He said he got hope.
Well, okay. Well, I just hope he can improve, man. I just hope he
Yeah,
has the reality that that first
I hope
round
so.
pick that happened in 2 years ago, whatever it was, not in 220, it ain't
Yeah.
got a cloud or anything with this Mike Caldwell as the defensive coordinator. Believe that. He don't care about anything about this guy being a first round pick. He does not have a locked spot or any of that. The one thing I can say that he is, I would say that he's working with the number 2 unit because once Trevon come back tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
he'll be a backup outside linebacker. And if that doesn't motivate him, then he should
Yeah.
be a guy who has all the incentives to be motivated to be a better ball player, especially coming after being a first round pick.
Yeah.
And, and this defense this year, I'm gonna say this: they're not gonna wait on guys to develop. I'm gonna tell you that right now. They got enough talent on this defense that they don't have to play Chase on just to validate that he was a former first round pick. So they don't.
Right.
You know, and I'll tell you another thing: the local guy. I mean, I like Shaq Quarterman, but Shaq Quarterman got a hell of a man. He might be third team linebacker now. He's got a big task ahead of him to get on the field as a linebacker with the group that he's got in front of him. And I
Oh yeah.
wouldn't I wouldn't be shocked. He's a young talent and he's a good player, man. He's good. He's just in a tough situation with the way that they have added the depth at linebacker, that he might be a guy that might be better off if they traded him somewhere where he can get a real look at linebacker. Because I don't. They are stacked at linebacker, man. This might
Yes.
be the best group of linebackers that this franchise have had in about 5 years. If not, this group here could be as talented as that group in 217. When
Yeah.
you look at Telvin Smith and those guys as a group, they
Yeah.
were one of the main reasons why that defense was what they were. Because I know a lot of people talk about Calais Campbell and the defensive front and Yanni, but as a group, I
The
mean,
linebackers were good.
Telvin Smith had a great year in 217, man, particularly
Yeah.
against Pittsburgh, both times. And I think this group and the different coverages that they're going to use and different ways that they're going to be utilized, the linebacker group might be the strength of the team, especially if you got Walker playing outside linebacker. And it's just, I mean, competition is what it is. You
Yeah.
can't you can't fault an NFL team for upgrading positions and not waiting
Yep.
on somebody to develop. And they're not waiting on Shaq. So,
No, no, they're not going to wait on him. Yeah, because I'm looking at the roster now, and yeah, because you had Miles Jack, Telvin, and Paz was starting.
yep.
Yeah, and that was that. Yeah, that was one of the best groups we have had in years.
Yeah, they played great together. They played off each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I
oh
think this
man,
group here, that kid they got from Wyoming is a ball player. Muma.
oh, he's a ball player.
Yep.
Oh man, the Heat, the Celtics up 18-4. Man, what's going on? The Heat was blowing the Celtics out like they blew them out. So it's gonna be another blowout.
Oh
What's up
Lord.
with the blowouts, man?
I don't know, man. 18-4. Good Lord. It's just like any meeny miny mo. Who gonna get the big lead?
Right. Hey, Jags fans, I want you to look away. I don't want you to be in pain right now. I want you to look away. Hey, Leonard Fournette posted this. I just wanted everybody to see this. He said, I lost to this dude with the cookie bush. Now we 2 Super Bowl champions. And I just retweeted it, and that's just pain right there, man. That's just pain. Looking at this photo, that's just pain. It reminds me of where we were and where we are now. Now I'm hopeful for the future, but the fact that we lost this and then Chase on and what we've gotten for Ramsey, it's just it's a bit much.
Jaguar fans ought to just, if you just think what it would be if you still had these two guys, along with the talent that you got right now.
Yeah. Yeah. What would it be like? What would it be
I
like if you
still
had kept
think
these two guys?
I still believe Leonard Fournette is a hell of a player. Now, I don't
Yeah.
know what Tom Coughlin might think or whoever cut it. I mean, I don't even want to get in that conversation. We know Caldwell was horrible, so
Yeah, we know. Nesse, remember his prediction is Chase on will make the team. You did say that, Ness. You said Chase on will make the team, so we're gonna see.
oh, he gonna make the team. But what use of a first round pick that's gonna only be a special teams player?
Yeah. Right. Hey, here's another guy. Robert Pugh just bringing up some sores right now.
Well,
Jordan Smith.
he was at defensive end today, but he's still light, man. He gotta start eating some Whoppers or something because he still don't look no bigger than me. But he was out there.
Hey, he needs some bricks in his back pocket, huh?
Yeah, you got that right. I mean, he tall, he got the height, but man, he gotta eat some Whoppers, double Whoppers.
Hey, Kasai said I can't watch that back to my dark shows. It's hard to watch. It's hard to look at that picture. When he tweeted that, so many Jags fans was like, I really hate being a Jags fan, man.
With some good memories, boy. I tell you,
yeah.
You can't give up and lose Pro Bowlers, man. They're gonna come back to haunt you. I don't care what it is. Jalen was a good player. I didn't agree with everything he said, but I never say that I didn't appreciate his talent. He was one hell of a cornerback.
Yeah. He said, hopefully the Jazz get 2 Super Bowls before either one of them. Man, the Rams
get a Super Bowl before I don't walk through the gates.
Right. Because dude, the Rams are primed to go again. Them adding Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
Man, they primed to go again. And then the Buccaneers are going to be good regardless. So, man, I don't know. They say I agree, Uncle John Fournette is a hell of a player. Yeah. Playoff Lenny is a real thing, man. Yeah. When the playoffs come, he turned it up.
And just think, he was cut and got nothing in return.
Nothing in return for him. Hey, and somebody was talking about, they were saying they were trolling him, and they said that, well, you got beat out by an undrafted free agent. And he's like, dude, I wish you were there. He said, but everybody has, you can ask anybody that was there. He said the issue is that he had issues with the coaching staff and issues with the execs. He said it wasn't necessarily that James Robinson was just so much better than him. It was that he had issues with the coaching staff and execs.
Well, they had already made the decision. Actually, they were going to trade him on draft night to Tampa then. But they wanted too much in return as far as draft picks, and Tampa didn't want to give that up. But they had already made a decision in April that he wasn't going to play on the Jaguars that no more.
Wow.
So whether James Robinson would have been, actually they were going to think about Armstead was who they really were thinking was going to replace Leonard at that point. And then James Robinson came on and just was tremendous. But they had already made that decision, man.
See, and fans don't know that. So, yeah, they talking that trash to Leonard, but come on, man. Oh, come on, Kassan. Why you do this? Jags get 2 Super Bowls on what you playing, Madden? Right. Yeah. We going to get 2 Super Bowls on Madden.
I just want the Jags to get 7, 8, or 9 wins.
Mm-hmm.
Be consistent. Make the playoffs. If you don't make the playoffs this year, make the playoffs next year. Let's get some playoff runs and then talk about Super Bowl. I would just love to see them playing the wild card game.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
To go from 3-14 and 1-15 back to back. See, we as Jaguar fans, you got to realize, man, unless they're Superman, what NFL team go from 1-15, 3-14, back-to-back number one picks to a Super Bowl.
It's
That's
not
never
happening.
happened. I don't think that's ever happened in the history of the game. So you got to take. I don't say baby steps.
Baby
I'm
steps.
not saying that, but
Right.
you got to walk. You got to crawl, walk, run.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
if
you
this
do.
team gets 7 wins, that's almost to the point where you can have a little parade.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can have
You
a
say
Trout River parade, and then you get ready for a St. John River parade.
there you go. That's it, baby. Hey, that's baby steps for real right there. Hey, so they have a Trout River parade. Oh, hey, you got to have extra security over in that area too.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Hey, I ain't gonna put Reebok in it yet. So
Yeah, that's
we have
funny.
a Trout River parade. You get the 7 wins. Then we can go to St. John River for anything double digit in playoffs. Second round,
Right.
something like that. Then you have that big old St. John River parade.
There you go. He said when Fournette participated in the Black Lives Matter march, I knew his days were numbered here in Jackson. Yeah, I'm sure they didn't like that, Ness. I'm certain they didn't like that.
Hey man,
Yeah,
I gotta say that. Hey, that's real, man. I said the same thing. I said, yeah, they took down that monument. That was it.
It was a wrap after that, man.
Yeah, that was it. We got to get him out of town.
Yeah, he gotta go.
Yeah,
he gotta go. He gotta go.
Yeah.
He gotta go.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Because baby steps. Let's get 6 wins this year or better, and now we talking. Yeah. Let's start there.
6 wins is better than 3, and you don't get a number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
And beat the Jets.
Yeah. Hey, now there's this, and this is just probably Jet fans, and it's hilarious because when the Jets had the number 1 pick before they beat the Rams, and we got the number 1 pick, they were on the Trevor bandwagon. We like, oh yeah, we getting Trevor. Trevor's the best. Now they got Zach Wilson, and now they done turned heel. Oh, Trevor's terrible. Zach Wilson is the better player. Oh, you smoking?
Yeah,
you smoking? You just saying that because that's who you got? Come on, dog. No, come on. Yeah, Zach Wilson isn't better than Trevor, man.
We'll see. We'll be talking about Zach Wilson in another 5 years from now. We'll see.
Yeah, right. So, man, we're gonna wrap that Jags talk up right there. We're gonna stay in football though, but we're gonna go to college football before we get into some of this NBA. Yeah, it's 26-8 right now. The Celtics are, man, and it's towards the end of the first quarter.
Where is that game in Boston?
If I'm not mistaken, I think it is in Boston.
I don't know.
It's in Boston. Yep,
I don't know what kind of series that is, man.
I don't know either. But is Jimmy Butler playing? Let me see.
He didn't play.
But Jimmy's playing, but he's 1 for 5 with 2 points.
Damn.
And Bam Adebayo has only taken 1 shot. Why?
Yeah, that's the problem right there.
Oladipo lead him with 6 points. Man, what's going on?
That's another problem.
Man, that is crazy. That is insane. But let's see. Nick Saban set college football on fire, and I am excited for college football, period. But Texas A&M versus Alabama is going to be must-see TV because Nick Saban set it on fire by basically calling out Texas A&M, saying they bought every player, and that Jackson State paid. I think it's his name Travis. Is it Travis Johnson? Travis Hunter. The cornerback / wide receiver paid him $1 million to go to Jackson State. And so, of course, Dion pushed back on it. Jimbo Fisher was the worst of the worst. Jim say, hey, if y'all knew the stuff that we did and the stuff that's going on, just dig into his past. I mean, Jimbo was fire hot about it. So then let me get it for those who haven't heard about it. Let's get into it. It said, this has been a crazy past 24 hours filled with news and viral headlines. Wednesday night started all as a clip of Alabama head coach Nick Saban surfaced on social media where he claimed that Texas A&M bought every player on their team. This clip sent social media into a firestorm overnight as many weighed in on the subject. The comment would draw an impromptu press conference in College Station where Texas A&M vehemently denied allegations set forth by his former boss, Nick Saban, and seemingly made the ending their relationship public. Fisher revealed that he declined a call from Saban following a clip of his accusation going viral. Fisher would then add, he said, "You coach with people like Bobby Bowden to learn how to do things. You coach with other people to learn how not to do things. There's a reason I ain't went back and worked for him. I don't want to be associated with him." So after a fiery press conference from A&M's Fisher, Saban went on ESPN radio and seems to be attempting to throw water on the fire that he created. He said, "I never should have singled anybody out, and I apologize for that part of it." Saban rejected the notion that he was accusing Texas A&M of doing anything illegal as he placed blame on the system. It's the whole system, and is this a sustainable system? Is it good for college football? He say collectives are the issue. So, and I know you've heard about that and you saw that. One of the things that I saw that people were talking about is that with Nick Saban, he doesn't just do things out of emotion or it's not well thought out before he does them. So the people who are like kind of around him and people who've been following for a long time, they were saying that he did this for a reason. You know, Texas A&M and Jackson State caught a stray in his attack, but he did this for a reason. And one of the reasons is that they say he was basically calling out Alabama's alumni and boosters. That they say that's what this was about. He wants more money. That they say this is what this was about. He wanted more money. He's like, look, Texas A&M getting this. Look what Jackson State is doing. Hey, I want more money. And I said, that makes sense to me, man, because this wasn't an emotional outburst and him just being mad that Texas A&M got the #1 recruiting class. No, I think he did this for a reason. What you thought about it when you first heard about it?
Well, I think he's understanding that. And let me just say this gingerly. I think he understands now that there's a different game being played, and there's a love of Alabama football in Alabama, but Alabama pockets is not as deep as Texas A&M. Man, Texas A&M got oil money, and I'm talking deep oil money.
Yeah,
and you even talk like Florida too. I mean, you look at these bigger states, and they have ability to pay. I mean, to invest in these athletes a little more than what Alabama. And I agree with you. I think he's starting to realize that Texas A&M particularly are having back-to-back #1 recruiting, classes, and it's starting to impact. And then Texas A&M beat them last year also.
They did.
Nick is. I know him a little bit, man, and I say this: there's a different side of Nick than what you see on TV. Nick is a cutthroat guy. You cross him one time, he won't never have anything to do with you ever again. That's some of the stuff that he's talking about. A lot of people think, he plays by the books. He does, but if you look at what Alabama has done over the years to build that program where it was, that all the conversations it was that he don't think Nick wasn't talking bad about programs.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard guys that went to Alabama, but they were being recruited by other schools, and Nick would tell them, if you go to this school, your chances of making it to the NFL is absolutely zero. They don't have what we have. And for many years, he could sell the program. I mean, you look at their facilities is better than the Jaguars and a couple of other NFL teams.
Yeah.
Here's a program that's got a statue of this football coach in front of their football facility. Not a player. He's standing next to Bear Bryant, Mr. Saban.
Yeah.
And when you're at the top, man, and you enjoy. I mean, he's 71 years old. He's been at the top for so long. I mean, he's taken that program to heights that's, man, he's accomplished things at Alabama that, believe it or not, Bear Bryant couldn't get done. But the bottom line is Alabama is Alabama, okay? Alabama got limited resources. You do have Birmingham. You still have Steel and those companies in Birmingham. But statewide, there's no way in the world over time. This is what he's looking at. He's looking at 2, 3, 4 year period. When you start really getting into this situation where these athletes can get the money, Florida, Georgia, and Texas A&M, they're all going to have more resources than Nick. And Nick want to have Nick is not thinking about tomorrow. He's thinking about how is he going to be portrayed once he leave Earth.
Mm-hmm.
He's thinking about legacy. He's not thinking about, oh, what can we do to win the national championship this year or next year. And he doesn't want, if he steps down as a coach, he never wants Alabama to be the way it was before he got there. And there's no way that Alabama going to be able to fix this issue unless they bring in Amazon or somebody. They don't have pockets that deep. They don't have pockets deep as Texas A&M. And they never going to have pockets that deep. So I just think that he realizes that he's in a battle he can't win. And when Nick is in a battle that he can't win, then he going to let the world know about it.
So
that's
that sounds like what people were saying. Exactly how you just broke it down. Nobody's broke it down the way you just broke it down, but that's what it sounded like to me. I said it's a reason for it. This wasn't a emotional attack on Texas A&M or Jackson State. I said it was something bigger than that and something more. There's a method to his madness. It always has been. See, Texas not just have state oil money, but Texas A&M is agricultural and mechanical school. Average person don't know what type school that they famous for.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I mean, Texas A&M the ones that got the A. That's the one that got the gold Trans Am for what's the running back? Oh my God. How can I not think of his name? They had the Jerry curl. Dickerson. There we go. Eric Dickerson. Yeah, got him that gold Trans Am. Talking about his grandma bought it.
Yeah. But you know what? Believe it or not, the University of Texas got more money than A&M. Do you know the University of Texas got a mall that is big as that one off of US 1 on their campus?
I said no, I did not know that.
Yeah, they got a mall on their campus that is big as, what's the name of the mall off of US 1? It's as big as that mall. It's double and everything.
You say off of US 1. Oh, you're not talking about
off of Phillips Highway. Phillips Highway.
Oh, off of Phillips Highway.
Well, I don't know.
You're not talking about the town center? No,
not that one.
No, so you're not talking about Gateway.
Let's put it. Well, what are we talking about? 1972?
Right.
Yeah, we ain't talking about Regency either.
No, you definitely not talking about Regency.
Well, I just say Orange Park. Hey, we'll just say Orange
Avenues. That's it. Avenues. I had a brain fart. I appreciate that. Avenues.
Yeah, it's not as big as Gateway.
Yeah. Right.
Man, let me stop laughing at my Gateway. I grew up at Gateway, y'all.
Right. But so Nick,
whatever happened to Mr. Hicks?
Yeah, it is going to be an issue, and he said that is this going to be a sustainable system, and will it? Who knows? I don't know if this is going to be a sustainable system, but like you said, these like Texas and Texas A&M, both of them. I know Texas, they got money in Texas.
Yeah,
I mean, when I saw the Longhorn Network, I said that's money.
Yeah.
They had their own network.
Their endowment in Texas can rank up there with Harvard. Harvard got a big endowment where all they, the alumni,
Yeah,
Harvard alumni is like ex-presidents.
yeah.
But they
Oh
got
yeah.
oil men, like they got oil men when they die, they give
Mm-hmm.
all their money to universities.
Right.
Like
Right.
J.R. Ewing, I was giving an example, like J.R. Ewing would have an endowment directly to the University of Texas. So when he dies, everything that he owned, the land, the cows, everything goes to the university.
Wow. See.
And the university
See.
sells.
Wow. See, Eric Dixon with the SMU was part of Pony Express team. That scandal. Yeah, yeah. And Texas and Texas A&M, I believe, were behind the sabotage of SMU because those boosters and alumni at SMU built them up so well that they started to beat the Texas and Texas A&M. Like, hold on, wait a minute, y'all ain't never been this good. We got to snitch.
Yeah.
We got to tell.
Well, he got a lot of money from both those schools, and he didn't end up going there. And he lived not that far from A&M. They're like right down the highway from each other. They just stop by and bring money bags and leave them on the porch.
Right. He say, so why throw Dion under the bus? What was that about? That I don't know. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's just stupid on the coach part. That's what that is. He just jealous of Dion and them.
Yeah, I mean Dion. I'm not surprised by that because as soon as that kid committed to Jackson State, the hate started, and it wasn't just Nick or other college football teams. You had people in the media talking about that kid, man. Yeah. Shit, what's that guy, Doug Gottlieb, the one who was had stealing credit cards, and he always talking trash. He was talking about that. Talking about it was a horrible decision. Why would the kid go there? I'm like, why are you worried about it?
Yeah. But that's, it's like you always got to have competitive balance, man. Alabama has won a lot. And I know that's your school, but they won a lot. And they're in the toughest conference in America. And those schools are not just going to sit back and just get beat down by Alabama every year, man. I mean, if you really look at it, if you go to Texas A&M, their facilities can match Alabama's. Florida is getting there. They're not there yet, but they're getting there. And another place that's got money is Tennessee, but it's just that they don't know how to hire a head coach.
Yeah, because that's what Dion said. That he said Coach Saban wasn't talking to Jimbo. He wasn't talking to me. He was talking to his boosters, trying to get money.
Yep, he was.
That's what this is about. This was about money. This wasn't necessarily about them. He used them as an example, and he laments using them as an example. But this was about him talking to his boosters, trying to get that money. Man, because, like you said, yeah, they're stacked now. They got 4 and 5 stars at the bottom of the roster. But what is it going to be like in 4 to 5 years?
Well, this is what it's going to be like for Alabama. They're going to ask every alumnus that ever went to Alabama to donate $100 or more to fund their program. That's what's going to happen. Alabama, I've covered the Alabama game against LSU. After the game, they had folks literally crying on the radio that they lost that game to LSU, regular season game. Mm-hmm. There's nobody matched their passion. If Nick Saban was to ask those fans that could you donate $100 a month, I guarantee you he'll get it.
Right.
And it still may not be enough to beat out A&M. So
yeah. So man, it is what it is.
Has been fired. It's the SEC, and only the strong survive, and that's what this is. This is chess moves, because if you look at all these places, man, Texas A&M got Houston money, they got Dallas money, Georgia got Atlanta money, Tennessee got Nashville, Memphis money. Florida got what? Jacksonville, Miami, Orlando. You got these big cities where they got all these alumni. And what Alabama got? They got Mobile and Birmingham. And Mobile and Birmingham don't have nowhere near that money that Houston got, or Atlanta, or any of these Florida cities. So that's the situation he's in. You know, he probably retire before it get to a point that he can't win, though.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. So, man, we gonna leave that right there, and I'm excited for that matchup. I want to see the coach handshake at the end of the game.
Not gonna happen.
You say it ain't gonna happen?
That bond has been broken, man. Jimbo was fired up, boy. Jimbo called a press conference in 10 minutes. 10 minutes after Nick said what he said, he called a press conference. I tell you that. And then they worked together. He was assistant coach for Saban at LSU when they won a national championship. And then after this incident, Saban called him, and he didn't pick up. He wouldn't answer. So that friendship is over, man.
Yeah, I don't think there's no love lost between the two of them, man. He was. I mean, I've never seen him that fired up, man.
This ain't Belichick and Saban here, boy.
Man, oh man.
You watch. Then they play this year. That's must-see television.
yeah, it's gonna be must-see television, man. Man, oh man.
Jimbo gonna have all the dogs for that game, boy. That's gonna be one hell of a week of preparation, there, boy.
Oh yeah. Nothing gonna be on the radar but beat Bama. That's all it's gonna be. It's gonna be beat Bama.
This man call you basically that you were bought. He don't believe in you.
Yep. They're gonna be fired up for that, man.
So you just wanted to grab the bag and that's it. You don't want to win, just want to grab the bag.
Hey, I noticed that too, because he said Jimbo was so close to dropping dimes on the whole system, he caught himself a few times. Oh yeah, he wanted to release more. He did. I noticed that too. He said Jimbo was so mad he had a church fish fry grease sweating on his forehead.
Yeah, I've got some of that on mine right now.
Hey, yeah, that's what it was, man. But man, we're gonna go into a little baseball. We're gonna talk baseball often, but I don't know if you had heard about this, but Tim Anderson had alleged that Josh Donaldson, basically made racist comments towards him during the game. He didn't appreciate it, so and then he voiced about it. There's been a big debate back and forth about whether it was or not. But I'm gonna play this, and then we're gonna get into it. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, he just made a disrespectful comment. Basically was trying to call me Jackie Robinson. Like, what's up, Jackie? I don't play like that. I don't really play at all. I wasn't really bothering nobody today, but he made a comment, and it was disrespectful, and I don't think it was called for. It was unnecessary.
That was when you guys crossed paths with shortstop there at the end of the third.
Yeah, but that happened in the first time he got on, and I spared him that time, and it happened again. It was just, just uncalled for. It's not, I got time to, be playing like that.
How did you manage to contain yourself based on that kind of comment?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know, to be honest. It was very disrespectful. Don't want to play like that.
You called it disrespectful. Tony just said it was racist. Is that accurate?
Yeah. Same along that same line. Yeah.
Can you say what he said?
You said what?
Can you say what he said?
I just said it.
So that's what he said. So Josh Donaldson said, "Hey, Jackie," to him, as in reference to Jackie Robinson. And people referenced a article I saw where he called himself, he said he feels like the new Jackie Robinson, trying to bring fun back to baseball. Saying he wanted to bring fun to baseball, and the guy made that statement. Now, from what I've seen and from everything from whether it's fans or whatever, from what I've seen around this, is that the issue here is not that he was called Jackie. It was who he was called Jackie by. Supposedly, Josh Donaldson doesn't have a great reputation. And if this was probably anybody else, I don't think it would have been much of an issue. But from what I've seen, Josh Donaldson, it's going to be an issue with him. And regardless of whether, because I've seen people, well, that's not racist. And I was like, when I saw the baseball fans and how they reacted to it, I said, well, there's a problem in baseball because look at y'all and the way y'all reacting. You can't debate somebody about how they felt about something. I don't care what it is. You can't tell somebody, hey, you shouldn't feel this way about whatever. They felt the way they felt, whether you thought it was warranted or not. I mean, people got to get out of their mind with that stuff, man. If I felt like I was disrespected, I felt like I was disrespected. There's nothing you can do about that. But this look like more of a case of he doesn't like this particular guy. Now, who knows if anybody else would have said that he would have felt this way, but Josh Donaldson specifically, he did not want to hear this from him. So he felt like he had racial undertones coming from this specific guy. So what did you think about this when you heard about this?
I agree with what he just said. I agree with everything he said. Yeah, and I disagree with the reporters that he got to explain that the second time. They know what he meant.
Yes.
You can't just, we live in an age now. I don't want to preach, but man, come on, man. I know what connotations are. I know what implied and what's not implied. And I know if he and I know what you said that he might have said some things relating to Jackie Robinson, but it would be like me and you on a baseball field. We the only blacks on the team, and somebody say, "Hey, Jackie Robinson."
Yeah,
I'm not gonna not be blind to know what that means because it might as well just say the N-word. It means the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's the world we live in right now. Is that, man, we gotta. I say the biggest problem we got in this country right now is race. It's too much hidden, too much not talked in conversation, and when we have situations like what he's talking about, and I agree with what you said, everything you just said. Nobody feel you can't judge somebody on disrespect. If they feel they're being disrespectful, then take it as that. There's no question of what degree it is. It is what he said it was. He felt disrespectful. That's his feelings. And when you got reporters asking back and forth, and well, what do you think that he meant by it? What do you think he meant? What do you go ask him why he said it? You're not gonna get a direct answer.
Yeah.
So that's the world we live in. But and baseball is a sport that's got a lot to fix. And it's been broken for a while, to be honest. And you just can't go on and don't think a problem exists. And then when you have an incident like this, then it's brought to light, and then everybody questioning, like, well, I don't think he meant anything by it. So why did he say it? I mean, come on. I mean, I can put 1 + 1 and get 2, and that's what he got. And that's the problem. I I remember one reporter wrote something about that. I think it was a Daytona 500 that had in a headline that the black race car driver. I don't know if he was the first or what, but the black race car driver is going to be participating in the Daytona 500. And do you feel offended? I said, hell yeah, I feel offended. I mean, I feel offended is because the only thing you're talking about, you clarifying just because he's black. You don't need to be in the headline.
Right.
He's a race car driver.
Yeah.
But that's the world we live in, where we don't know what offends us, and a lot of times they don't care.
No. I'll tell you what's offensive, and I'm gonna go outside of sports real quick. I'll tell you what's offensive to me is the way they've done Juneteenth so far. They want to make it a national holiday, and when I saw that, I said that's not a good thing because all that's going to do is that's going to allow companies to make money off of it and have people make money off of it. Dude, Walmart is selling Juneteenth flavored like the ice cream with Juneteenth stuff on it. I saw Juneteenth plates, flags, and all this stuff, and I'm like, where's that money going? Where's that money going? It's not going to black people. So they're making a mockery of Juneteenth now. That's what this opened up to. But see, black people too. This is our fault because you're so caught up in empty, hollow gestures instead of real change, real progress. You know, you just want the image of things. No, man, come on. You got to want real change. And real change starts by you addressing things like Tim Anderson did. Because Tim Anderson could have easily brushed it off and said whatever, but he felt the need to address it.
Yeah. Because he felt this, you're going to go up there and put the tape recorder in him and you ask him about the game. So he has every right as an athlete, it not even have to be an athlete, just has a right as a man that, look, this man called me Jackie Robinson. He didn't call me Jackie Robinson because we talking about his birthday celebration. Everybody that day wore 42 and they celebrating it. He called him for the reason why that's what's so amazing about race and the problems of race, because it's how it can be conceived. It's different ways you can be a racist, but you don't always have to come out to be straight about it. But if you come out straight with it or hide it or insinuate, it's still racism. And that's what this whole situation is. It doesn't. You don't have to say the N-word, but you can say civil rights something that has nothing to do with anything today. But you called out something to go back to that time, so there's a reason why that was being said. It's the way you can use words to be hurtful and hateful, and that's no different than what it was back in the '60s.
Yeah. And Josh Donaldson has been suspended. Of course, he's appealing the suspension. He was suspended for 1 game by the MLB, and then it's all in how he said it as well. Because, like, say if this was a teammate of Tim Anderson's, and playfully calling him Jackie because he said Jackie Robinson and things like that, probably wouldn't have an issue with that. But it's obvious Josh Donaldson, he felt he had bad intentions with what he was saying. The connotation and how he said it, he was like, yeah, I know what you're trying to say to me. Yeah. And they try to make you feel like you're crazy, that ain't what it is, when that's what it really is. You're gaslighting me, babe. That's what you're doing to me. You're trying to make it seem like it ain't what it is, and that's what it is. I see it happens.
Sometimes it's always a joke when you get caught, but it ain't a joke when you deliver it.
Right.
And as you say, you got to treat men like men and play the game. You don't have to call a man out of what is his name. Call him by his name. Don't call him, to have some disrespectful meaning regarding Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, because Josh Donaldson could have easily called him MF, called him, basically trash talked him, talked about his mama or something like that. And he may not have felt the same way. He could bite to just talk trash back to him, but he felt like that was a step too far.
Yeah. And Major League Baseball like I've been saying, it's a lot of issues in baseball. Personally, I'm gonna say this: I don't think baseball want black fans. I don't think they do enough to draw them. I don't think they do enough to recruit black players. I don't think they do enough to recruit black fans. I don't see signs in neighborhoods. I don't see things that I know that they can do more to introduce that game to young black kids, and they refuse. But if you take a cruise and you go to the Dominican Republic, they got baseball camps and all that. So what that tells me is, oh yeah, well, we're gonna meet our quota in a different way. We're gonna get players that look black, but we're gonna get them from the Dominican Republic and we've done our job. But we live in America. And if
Yeah.
you ever want that game to get to the point where it was in the 70s and the 60s, then you have to do a better job in diversifying your sport. It's not diversified. They're not attracting, you know. I don't see any baseball commercials on BET. You?
No.
No. I don't
No.
see anything where they're attracting their game to draw my interest. And that's a
Yeah.
problem. That when you
Yeah.
can't diversify your game and then you just we getting black looking players, but they coming from Cuba, Dominican, Puerto Rico, and those places, and they just say, okay, well we're gonna just invest ourselves there, and that's where the game is at. That's why they're not attracting. You're not getting enough young black kids interested in baseball, and they got a problem.
Yeah. And so what that has led to is that guys who probably would have been Major League Baseball all stars, they've
Yep,
chosen other sports. They went to football and they go to basketball. Dude, Jameis Winston was a great pitcher.
yep,
Yeah, Kyler Murray was excellent baseball player. He could have easily been in the MLB. Same with Calvin Johnson. A lot of people don't know. Calvin Johnson was drafted, I think, in like the second or third round in the Major League Baseball draft. So, but those guys, one of the issues too is the farming system. They don't
yep,
trust the farming system. It takes you a long time to make your money in Major League Baseball versus, like, say, Kyler Murray. If Kyler Murray had stayed with the Oakland A's, he wouldn't get the type of money Kyler's making now. He wouldn't see it until like year 6, 7, and 8.
mm-hmm.
Like, what's that? Joe Judge. Joe Judge was one of the better players in all of Major League Baseball. Was making like $600,000.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of their issues too, is that you don't trust the farming system because so many guys get caught up in it and they don't get a chance to make the money that you could make in basketball or football.
Mm-hmm. But I also think they got to change their whole concept. If Major League Baseball ever gonna be what it was, it has to change the way it conducts its business totally. You know,
Yeah.
they got to do a much better job in marketing itself to diversify. It's not to me. It's like the one sport. Even hockey does a better job in some instances. That
Yeah.
baseball feel that the biggest problem with baseball is that it rests on its reputation. It was the first sport basically, and they feel that they don't have to do enough to get you to watch their game.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reasons why their ratings is low, the attendance is low, the
Mm-hmm.
work stoppages, and all kind of other things, and they can't get, they can't attract themselves to be a diversity. There's not enough diversity in that sport.
Yeah. No, it's not, man. But we are going to leave it right there. And right now, Miami and Boston is 55-33, 44 seconds left in the half. Victor Oladipo has 18 points. Bam Adebayo has taken 2 shots. Jimmy Butler has 6 points. He's 3 for 8. I know he's nursing that knee. Tyler Hero is out, so they don't have him. Dude, I don't know. This series is just ridiculous. But yeah, going off. He got 22. But other than that, man, this series is weird. This is a very weird series.
I think both of them been weird, to be honest. I mean, it's been a bunch of blowouts.
Yeah. Now, I will say the last game when Miami was blowing the Celtics out, and one of the issues brought up in the barbershop today is the refs, the officials, and the way they've been reffing the NBA playoffs. Some egregious calls, man. I know the Celtics had almost 20 free throws, and Miami had 3, but they was blowing them out by like 25. And I was like, how's that possible?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I've never seen that before. I said, how in the world is that possible?
55-33. I mean, did they play 48 hours ago?
Right. They did play 48 hours ago.
Oh, man.
Who is this?
So this is Bronny James. This is Bronny James at his prom, and that is his prom date. Attractive young lady. And these two pictures have caused a stir on the internet.
Oh,
And the reason I wanted to bring this up because it's weird that grown people care about who a 17-year-old kid is going to prom with. Like I've heard so many things about Bronny, and he's in the sunken place, from the Jordan Peele movie. Dang, I can't remember the name of that movie. Man, I'm drawing a blank on remembering stuff today. God, I got to get some ginkgo or something. Get Out, the movie Get Out. Yeah, he was in the sunken place from Get Out, and LeBron and Savannah didn't raise him right, and why did he take a white girl to prom and all of this? And RG3 had a great response to it. If I can find RG3's response, I'll bring it up. But why are you worried about who a 17-year-old is taking to prom? I don't understand. And if you just look at this from a logical standpoint, Bronny James is brought up. Come from an affluent family. He's out in California, in one of the richest parts of California, and he came from one of the richest parts of Ohio. And he's going to Sierra Canyon. I think the tuition there is like 60, 70 grand a year. So there's not many black kids there to begin with. Let's be honest, it's not. And who's he going to see the most there? He's probably going to see white kids, white women, white boys and white girls there. See kids of other races. He's not going to see many black girls there. But even if there were black girls there, it shouldn't matter who he goes to prom with. I mean, grown people were arguing about these photos. This amazed me.
Man,
Let me see if I can find no RG3.
I think I'm getting too old, man. First of all, I would like to have LeBronny. What's his name? LeBronny.
Oh, Bronny. Yeah, Bronny.
Bronny.
Yeah.
I would just hope that the young man can just live life like a 17-year-old and don't be a national celebrity. It's the first thing.
Right.
But I guess that's impossible because he's all over YouTube and everything. But man, we gotta stop. We gotta stop. We gotta let kids be kids, man. I don't care if he's daddy, the most famous basketball player in the world. And shows you this is the reason why the world is so different now. I watched Jordan Rules the other night. It came on, I watched it. I watched it. But there is a part in there that it was the last part of it. They talked to his children. I didn't even know Michael Jordan had a daughter.
Oh yeah, I knew about his sons. Yeah,
sons and a daughter. But if you look, I guess a long story short is that in the 90s, America wasn't wrapped up in Michael Jordan children. If there was anybody they could wrap up to, it would be Jordan.
Right.
But now I don't know is the fact that LeBron's sons play basketball and we in this YouTube era where they got the highlights and low lights and all this, but no matter what, he's still 17 years old. And who he take to the prom should never be a national debate or a story.
Never.
And I just hate for this kid, man, that everything in his life, just like his dad's, is just scrutinized. Like you got adults talking about he's taking a white girl to the prom. I said, man, we got a lot more things to be concerned about in America than who Bronny takes to the prom.
Right.
That's none of our business. And it shouldn't even be. It's I'm sure he likes the photos. I mean, you can't control the photos, I guess. I'm sure they got photographers that's just everywhere he walks, they taking photographs. But man, we got too many problems in this world to be worried about 17-year-olds, who they taking to the prom. Is he going pro? Let him be a kid and we'll wait till
Let
they
him be
get
a
to
kid.
the word about ETV or whatever it is. I mean,
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
no
So this I
concern
found it.
whatsoever if this kid go take to the prom, and everybody should feel the
Right.
same.
Right. So I found his response. It was short and sweet.
Bronny James upset a lot of miserable people tonight because he decided to take a white girl to prom as his date. First of all, it's 2022. What's wrong with that? He can take an avatar to prom for all I care. Who he chooses is who he chooses. And secondly, it's given weird energy that a bunch of grown men and women, 40-year-old men and women, are trying to tell a 17-year-old who they think he should bring to prom. This ain't got nothing to do with LeBron and Savannah not raising Bronny right. And the color of the skin of the girl that he takes to prom should not matter. Leave these kids alone.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's weird. Yeah, it's the weird, and we're in a celebrity obsessed culture now. I mean, people are, obsessed with celebrity. I did a video just talking about Kim Kardashian and her son finding the advertisement for her adult tape on Roblox, and dude, it got my views tripled on it. And I say, golly, people are obsessed with celebrity today. I mean, because it's something that a lot of people aspire to be. Because that's why you have a lot of, because one thing about it, you got a lot of no talent people who are celebrities today. Let's be honest about it. Yeah. I mean, the barrier to entry for a lot of industries is not hard anymore. Like music, you had to do for music back in the day, you had to find guys who could play. You had to get them all at the same time, practice, hey, get on the road, hey, go pay DJs, book tour dates, and travel tour and all of that. It ain't that today. All you got to do today is buy a beat and mumble over it and put it out, and you get some notoriety, man. Like, it's not the same today.
Yeah, man. That's why there'll never be another Ohio players, man.
Never. Hey, yeah. What's the group between the Osley brothers? Ain't gonna be no more Osley brothers. Yeah, no more Osley brothers
today, man. Somebody said that in the 80s, if you listen to music like Stephanie Mills and Loose Ends, I don't know if the young folks even heard of these people, but if you play their music, it's been 40 years since the 80s. You can still vibe off the music that was made in the 80s. And somebody reversed it and said, if you go back to 1930, 40, 50, 60, 70, when in the 70s, nobody was playing 1930 music.
Right. But you can still vibe off 80. Yeah, I still listen to 80s and 90s artists to this day. It's in heavy rotation.
But you won't listen to this music being made today. It won't have a lasting power of 40 years from now. I promise you.
It won't. It won't. It won't. It's the internet. Even the ones expressing opinions don't really care for real. It's not real life. And that's another thing too. The fake caring. It's fake caring. It is. It is. People really don't care. They fake care. And let's not. Don't discount the people who are miserable. Misery loves company, man. People are miserable today. They don't have a life. They're not doing anything. So all they do, they can sit on the internet and hate all day.
Yeah, you're right about that. And they don't. And a lot of people hate on LeBron, and they hate on kids. They hate on him.
Yeah. When the conversations around Bronny, sometimes I'm like, man, you guys are just hating this kid because he's LeBron's son. Because regardless of this right here, when it comes to basketball, I hear the hate about Bronny and he's not an NBA star. He'll be lucky to make the league, or maybe he should even be in the league. He's gonna be a G League player, and I'm just like, come on, man. The kid can play.
If he don't make it, his brother will make it. So what difference does it?
His little brother is good too. Yeah.
So what difference?
He's good.
It'll be a LeBron kid in the NBA. So. But that's where we come to, man. We just I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like people do not like the predetermined things. They just want things to happen as they come along. They don't like for people to hear that, man, this kid is going to be an NBA star, and they already know it before it happens, and that pissed people off. We got too much hate in the world, man. That's the whole bottom line. We got too many reality shows, and we got too much hate. You know,
Yeah.
why hate? I mean, this kid's 17 years old. Man. Whoever got shade on that got some major problems.
Yeah. Once we enter the influencer age with the whole, because you like, well, I'm like, well, somebody be like, oh yeah, this is so and so. Well, what does this person do? What is their talent? What can they do? Oh, well, they're just an influencer. What does that mean? What are they influencing? What? All they're doing is doing the same thing everybody else is doing on the internet, and whether it's dancing or whatever, and you like they getting the following off of that. And I'm just like, wow, all you doing is copycatting. So we're in a society now where it's like faux celebrities, man.
I give you an example of what our country at right now. If you watch so the series that go back to Miami, right? It has to go back to Miami no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Miami. If you watch the game when they go back to Miami, take a glance at the front row seats in Miami. Miami is a picture of America, because when you see people in Miami sitting in that front row, man, they pay. I'm probably say they probably paying about $4,000, $4,500 a seat, and you see they're dressed in. Man, I saw a couple that was dressed up like they were going to church.
Yeah. Yeah.
And long story short is, we all want to be stars. That's the problem with our country. We all want to be recognized. We all want to be famous and praised. And then for the little amount of seconds that the camera pan the front row of that basketball game, that's what they feel is going to be the fame that they have for the rest of their life. That's the only reason you pay that money to sit in those seats.
Yeah.
And that's the world we live in.
Yeah.
That's in a nutshell. That's the reality world we live in. We all want to be praised. We all want to be admired. And really, we don't know how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's like me doing this, man. I'm not trying. I'm not looking to be some superstar. Cameras flashing. Hey, Brandon. Like, hey, what did you think about this? And I'm not looking for that. No. What I'm looking to do is capitalize off of my talent. That's all I want to do. Capitalize off my talent. You know, carve out a niche for myself and take care of my family. That's about it, man. I mean, you can have all of that. I don't want to be hounded and all of that stuff. And no, man, no. I want to be able to just put my talent on display and let the talent speak for itself. You know? That's all I want to do. You know, that's why I love those ball players. Hey, you like, I ain't trying to talk to the camera. No, just watch me dribble the ball. Yeah. Even though I do like a good trash talk.
But boy, I tell you what, that's the world we live in, man. Everybody want fame. Everybody want to be admired. Yeah. Everybody want to live the glamour life. And sometimes when you get the glamour life, it ain't what you thought it was. Win the lotto and see what that glamour life will be.
Right. I've listened to 2 artists in the last couple of days talk about them hitting fame and how it's not what they thought it would be. Cardi B was one of them, and she did an interview and she was like almost in tears talking about how it's certain music she don't want to do anymore and she don't want to put it out. You know, she has a persona and she has to keep it up, you know, to keep the money flowing. And she said certain songs, you know, I just didn't want to do. She said, I want to be a wife and I want to be a mother now. She said, but she sold her soul already. She's indebted to these record companies. She has to put that music out. She has no choice. It's another girl. She's getting backlash because she was twerking on a 10-year-old boy in her video named Suki Hana. And I saw a video where she talked about how I wanted to do music. It was my dream. She said, but I don't own myself anymore now. She said, I feel like I really made a deal with the devil. And you see, the kids need to see that part of it. You don't need to just see the fame, the glitz and the glam and the red carpets. You need to see that part of it too.
And with fame comes a price. A lot of people don't understand what the price is, man. A lot of people got this hate about LeBron, but LeBron will never have a regular life. His life will never be regular ever. You know,
Yeah,
and there's a price you have to pay for that, man. You can't go to Disney and just show
yeah,
up on Saturday and just spend a day at the park and don't think it like extra precautions don't have to be made. I mean, that's the kind of stuff. I mean, like Kobe, man. Be man. Kobe had so many different interviews and demands of his time, and then go play a game. And
yeah.
it's a lot more to go into that life of being a celebrity than what people really realize. And then once you become a celebrity, you'd be saying, "Boy, I wish I had my normal life back again."
Mike, you brought up Michael Jordan earlier. Michael
Yeah,
Jordan, prime example on The Last Dance, when
yeah.
he talked about he was. I remember it was the scene where he was in the hotel room and he was laying on the couch and he was talking. He was like, that point where you pretty much about had enough of a certain lifestyle. He said, I'm about at that point. He said he was getting out his vehicle or coming down the street, got out the vehicle, cameras flashing in his face, and he saw a dad and his son walking down the street together, having a good time. And he said, man, I just want to do that. I just want to be able to do that. But he can't. As soon as he walked down the street with his kid, you already know the mob is coming. He
Mm-hmm.
can't live a normal life anymore.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
it's a lot goes into that, man. Like people
yeah.
don't realize what all goes into this celebrity life, man. It ain't
Yeah.
money's great, but
Yeah, money's great, but you really do sacrifice. You sacrifice your normal life to be able to do that. You can't be a normal no more. And see, Kassan Carter said, like last night they had to stop the game twice, as once Steph tripped on this lady on the court. Yeah, Steph tripped on the lady on the court. And a few minutes later, the same area where the Steph had the incident, a lady fell as she was walking back to her seat. She was escorted out of the arena.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man, but this life is different, man, and people don't realize what it entails and what it brings. Because I remember I was talking to my little sister, she was like, why do entertainers and people like that, make more than teachers and firefighters and doctors and things like that? And I said, if you look at what they have to sacrifice, I understand why they make what they make, because they can't have their life anymore. You
Yeah.
can't have a life anymore. Beyonce can't just pick up and go to the town center and chill and go go out to eat with her kids or something like that. She can't do that. She literally has to rent places out to be able to do that where nobody's there, where she won't be hounded.
I just like NBA players, you have to get a security guard. If you in certain cities you travel, you have to hire security.
Because you're
Where
a target. And that's the
you,
other part. You're a target now.
you can be robbed, you can be kidnapped, you can be a whole lot of things can happen. So you have to have those safeguards, and you basically done lost your freedom a little bit. I mean, you
Yeah.
just like with Jordan, you just can't go downtown New York and spend a day with the family and walk down, the Times Square or something and have a day with your family. That's not going to happen. You got to have like bodyguards, a posse of security, and
Yeah.
you got to make arrangements. You may not have to make them, but somebody has to make them. And it's just like you traveling like you the head of the state. And it's
Yeah.
just hard. People used to. It's hard to relax when you can't relax. If that makes any sense, it's hard to relax when you can't relax. And a lot
Yeah.
of times, I I say this like Holly Berry. Some people think like Holly Berry lives in a situation where she just isolated. She's not a you know not public figure. I mean, she's adopted kids and probably living a great life, but the transition has been difficult for a person like Holly Berry, who's just a simple-minded, quiet person who likes her freedom, but she don't feel safe.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that life is that's not a life I aspire to have. When Jordan was talking about it, I said, man, I wouldn't have wanted that life because it's constant. You're under a microscope, no
That's
matter
what
what, wherever you go. You're under a constant microscope, man.
that's exactly what it is. And then all cities are different. You gotta some cities you have to have more safeguards.
Yeah, yeah. Shoot, that's like when I think it was Howard Stern talked about it, how like over half of his listeners were people who disliked him and disagreed with him, but they listened him faithfully, listened to him all the time, and they listened just to disagree.
Yeah.
I say so. The people who are in your face and oh, you think they love you? No, just like with this YouTube thing, if and me doing this, the more it grows and the more people come in, these people aren't going to be fans of me. These are going to be people here to talk crap and disagree with me. That's what it's going to be.
Well, a lot of times, like this situation, you get people on the other side, and they just listen to the two disagree. They want to debate.
Yeah.
They don't think you share the same views, and they want to call you out on it and stuff. It just man, we live in a complex world.
Yeah, man.
And some certain people say you shouldn't even be talking about these topics. I say, well, ain't this America? This not Russia. I mean, we can talk about any topic. We're
Yeah.
gonna give a good, honest opinion about it. And I feel strongly, especially about baseball. Baseball need to change and become diversified. And if it can't become diversified, then maybe it should close shop or be state the truth. What are you?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
And it's going to continue to go. It's going to continue to go down because there is no diversification in it. You know, yeah. One of the issues with I know they tried to do had programs for inner city baseball, but
Mm-hmm.
those programs I don't think those programs are still in place. Those things came and went.
Yeah. And that's another problem. They start things but don't stick to them.
Yeah.
But
He said,
Christopher,
yeah, he said when you get into entertainment, your life is not your own anymore. It belongs to the people.
you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, and Odell spoke on that, and people brushed him off because it's Odell. But Odell talking, he said it's like being a dancing monkey. He said I'll be out and about, and people want me to do my touchdown celebration dances, and you're like, yo, I'm trying to chill with my fam. You gonna get out my face?
Yeah, they go to the restaurant and gotta, hey, could you take a minute? I like to shoot a picture of you. And then sometimes they don't even ask. They just shoot pictures of you. I mean,
Yeah,
I've seen it.
yeah, yeah. Like Icky Woods talking about, he gets the people always talking about, come on, man, do the Icky shuffle. You're like, man, you don't get out my face.
Yeah, like I used to ask those guys, I say, man, how you guys like really live life? I know you make all this money, NBA money, and you got a house here and a house there. And man, some of those guys just say, man, it ain't what you think. I used to see NBA guys
Yeah,
that man got mega contracts and look like it's the worst thing in the world to come to practice.
yeah,
They got
yeah,
a whole lot of things going on in their lives, and it just makes you realize, man, that even if you're at the top of the mountain, boy, it ain't always what you think it is in anything.
yeah. No, and anything. Especially, I saw a story with Jermaine O'Neal, and he played for the Heat for 2 years. And one of the reason why he didn't get to play with the LeBron Heat is because of the Heat's restrictions on body fat. And he was saying that it was very strict as far as body fat. And he said he'll walk into his pantry, he'll just be staring at the Oreos wanting to eat them. He said he can't eat them because they're gonna he get fined, I guess, if his body fat is too high. And so he said he had to leave the Heat. That's why he left. He didn't resign. He said because I'm 30 plus years old, man. He said I can't do this no more. I can still be productive and not have my body fat down to what they want it to be. He said he just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, I can understand.
Yeah, I can understand that, man. So, but hey, did you hear about J.R. Smith joining the Lakers coaching staff?
Oh no, I didn't hear that, but that's good for him. But they got to
Yeah, I
hire
heard.
a coach first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they were in talks. I don't know if nothing finalized, but I heard that they were in talks about him joining the staff. Man, I like to see JR win, man. He looked like he's in such a much better place than he was, especially like you say early in his career. You know,
Oh, yeah.
he's going back to college, 4.0 GPA. He's on the golf team now, become a coach. Man, yeah, he's living his best life.
Yeah, he's an example of a guy who lived it out, live young,
Mm-hmm.
and learn from all those miscues. And he's living his life the right way, man. That's why you can never give up on anybody, man. You can't.
Right.
You know, they might stress you out when they
Yeah.
young, but over time, most time they'll figure it out and get back on track.
Yeah.
But
They will.
I'm proud of everything this dude do, because I tell you, boy, he was young and young young
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
crazy back in the day, boy.
Yeah, man. So, man, Celtics, it's 69 to 37, 7:25 left in the third. This is such a weird series, man. Now, watch, they're going to go back to Miami, and it's probably going to be another blowout. Yeah, this is so weird, but hey, it is what it is. The Warriors are primed to win another championship, it looks like.
Yep.
I know we talked about them. I saw a stat where Draymond Green has hit more career playoff threes than Michael Jordan.
I didn't know that.
I was like, I didn't. When I saw that stat, I say, huh? What? I say, man, that's something. But I know he got kicked out the other night. That six, he just it was just oh my god. They say Rasheed Wallace looks at Draymond Green, talk to the refs, and he's like, yo, what in the world? He said, well, I couldn't get that type of treatment. Because Draymond he gets away with a lot. He does.
Yeah, he be cussing when he talking to the refs too.
Yeah. He said Miami will win next game 5, Boston game 6, game 7 is a toss-up. Hey, and I said Celtics in 7. That was my prediction. You know, I said Warriors in I think 5 or 6, but it's looking like this might be a sweep. Luka got to get at least one, man. I mean, he got to get at least one. But like you said, outside of him, they don't have anybody else on his level.
Well, the thing about the Warriors, man, they can push that pace. They're athletic. They can defend. They can pull guys off the bench that wasn't even on the game tape in the previous series. Wasn't
Right.
even on the game tape in the previous series, and come in this series and be unstoppable. I mean, that's what depth brings you, man. And then you got good coaching. You're not overcoaching.
Mm-hmm.
You're not changing the book. You know, you doing everything that Phoenix didn't do, basically, in this
Yep.
series. You got a punch at the end. You playing your style of play, and you got shooters. I mean, you got defenders, and you pushing the pace. You making them work on defense, and then they come back down, and it's just like they just they don't have a rhythm. They can't make shots other than my
Yeah.
man Luka.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, they can't make those shots, man. So and then the Warriors, man, the way they look now, was talk in the barbershop, he was talking about it, and he was like, man, he said he said they can make some moves and bring us another couple of defenders, and they can make another run next year and maybe the year after that. And he was saying that I was like, man, they probably won't be out of contention until that breaks up. And he was like, man, it don't seem like they're gonna ever break up. I said, yeah, they all want to do their best to stay together as far as money. I say, but I think injury is what's probably going to end that.
Yeah,
Injury is probably what's going to break that up. And we're seeing it early now. Those years of constantly going to the finals racks up on the body. That's why LeBron going to 8 straight finals. You have to marvel at it, man.
mm-hmm.
You know, it's now he's 37, of course, and those injuries, catching up with him now. But that constant going to the playoffs every year, going to the finals, it catches up with the body. Because Clay doesn't look the same at all.
Nah,
You brought up that he just doesn't look the same.
yeah, he doesn't look push off. getting up the shot. That looked good. But I like this. A lot of teams, franchises have tried to duplicate the Warrior way, and it's hard.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's it's hard, and actually the Warriors have added pieces
Yeah.
and have changed their structure of their team. It was Kevin Durant and all that, and they went through some pain. They didn't make the playoffs a year ago, but
Yeah.
they got a system, man. that system that system works.
Yes, it does. To my KD went to he left the most unselfish team in NBA history to go to play with Dr. Sebi with a layup package. I say what? Say why they do Kyrie like that, man? He say Warriors going for the sweep tomorrow night. Mavs chance to win was game 2. They lost their heart game 2. Yeah, they when they lost game 2, that I think that took the wind out of their sails because that was their chance. That was one of their best chances to get one. He said, also realize Andre Iguodala hasn't played this series yet. Either coach's decision. He's fresh also. Yeah, man, he's been in the suit coaching. That's what he's been doing.
Yeah, like a neck injury though.
Yeah. So he's healthy to play?
Oh, I don't know. They don't need him.
Yeah. If push come to shove, he probably could play, but as for right now, they don't need him. Shoot, and you still got Wiseman. Still don't know what you're gonna get with that. So
yeah. I like the way they play, man. They probably turn off the lights and get that series over with, and then have 9 days to prepare for the finals.
yeah,
And they could beat the Heat of the Celtics. I mean, it'd be a good game to play the Celtics, I think, but I don't know if the Heat got enough offensive punch. Celtics do. I don't know if the Heat does.
Yeah, and I don't think the Celtics can stop that offense, man.
Yeah. I don't think the Heat can either.
Yeah, they share the ball, man. It's tough. Yeah, Steph is that guy, but they share the ball, man. And it could be anybody's night, whether Poole, Wiggins, or Steph, man. It could be anybody's night.
That's the way Phoenix should have played. You share the ball, you push the pace, you get everybody involved, everybody touches the ball. If Steph got the hot hand, he's a hot guy. You get him the ball, but you don't change what you do. You don't change your system. You don't change the principles of your system, and you play defense. You get back, you contest shots. Luka's been killing them, but they stopped everybody else other than Doncic. So that's how you play. You don't change who you are. You play the same way you played throughout the series and the regular season, and then you just up the pace. And teams can't. The problem with Dallas can't play that pace. They might can play it for a game or so, but they cannot keep up with the pace that the Warriors push.
No, they can't. They can't. So, but man, we're gonna leave it right there. We're gonna wrap it up. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on all my social medias. Follow Mr. Reid on Twitter, Jacksonville.com, Florida Times-Picayune. We will be back. I'm excited to see what the rest of OTAs has. And football is right around the corner, man. It's gonna be here before you know it.
Don't say that, man.
Hey, it'll be here before you know it, man. You told me, say OTA start today. I say, oh, we that close. I said, I didn't even realize we were that close.
Yeah, 90-degree temperature watching that football practice. Gotta have your water breaks.
Yeah, got to, man. But I appreciate it. Hey, until next time, man, we are out of here. Peace out, y'all.